Hi guys. This video is going to be something I was actually going to kind of save for the book, but it's something I feel compelled to share. Hope everybody's well this evening. This one might get a little long. This is going to talk about the aftermath of deconversion when you're a new atheist. What happens when you lose your religion, when you lose your faith in God? A lot of people, aren't ready, like I said in the last video. Sometimes they go a little crazy. Some people just get a little emotional. Maybe there's a lot of crying as if, you grieve. And that's kind of what happens to people who aren't ready when the deconversion is like a shock. It's kind of like whenever you're 7, 8 years old and you're not ready to let go of Santa Claus, and you see your Christmas toys in the back of your parents' closet, and you can't unsee that. You can't turn back time and not know. And that's what happens a lot of times when people aren't ready to deconvert, and they do deconvert. So what do you do then? There's a lot of questions. You feel bitter, probably. You feel angry. You feel sad, you feel empty, you feel lonely, you feel lied to. You lost something that was probably, if you were a true believer, one of the most important things in your life. But when you can no longer deny the fact that this was a lie, that there is no God, what do you do? I think probably the best thing for people to do is to embrace the good parts of deconversion. All of a sudden, all of the craziness that is imposed upon you by religion, that's gone. You should take a stance of relief and embrace that relief. You're still going to grieve, just like you're relieved that your ailing relative is no longer suffering when he or she dies, but you're still grieving because you missed that person. You're still going to grieve, and that's okay. That's normal. That's natural. For a lot of people, God was real. God was a real loving father. So it's like losing someone that was close to you, someone you talked to every day, even though he never talked back. Or because, in all, he's not there. He never was there. He was only in your head. He never talks back or anything, but to you, he was real. So that grieving process is normal. Treat it like you just lost a close relative, like someone just died. But you need to also, like I said, embrace the relief. Think about it. You no longer have to hold misogynist or homophobic viewpoints because your religion says so. You no longer have to pray before meals or before bed. You no longer have to put everything, in Jesus's or in God's hands, because you know what? You are in control. You are in control of your morality, of your destiny, of what you think is right and wrong. Of course, outside the balance of the law, and inside the balance of normalcy. Don't go, lying, stealing, cheating, killing, but you create what you think is right and wrong versus having to follow some twisted version of morality from a 2,000-year-old book and doing what another human being just like you from a pulpit is saying. That should come as an enormous relief. You need to give yourself a break. You don't need to worship someone or something. The fact that you remember, throughout this grieving process, remember that the fact that you deconverted is a good thing. It's because you are enlightened, because you see the truth. You realize that, you believed a lie all this time, but you have the rest of your life to know that this being is not looking at you, is not judging you, that you don't need to worship, that you don't need to follow the Bible or the Quran or the Torah, that you don't need to pray, that you don't need to go to church or mosque or synagogue, that you don't have all of these obligations anymore. This is an enormous burden that has been lifted from you. There's really no need to be sad. You should be jumping for joy. It's over. The guilt, the orders, the twisted morality that doesn't line up with the reality you live in the here and now every day. All of that is over. The aftermath of deconversion, see, that's hard. It's just like I said, it's like watching someone die. that was close to you before before you're ready to lose them. And I understand that because I went through it too. Even though I think I was a little more ready than a lot of people, I think I was never hardwired to need a personal God. So that took me a long way from, from needing any sort of grieving process. But for those of you watching who are new atheists, yeah, I can kind of affirm you from that, because I've been an atheist for more than a decade, and certainly have been, questioning my beliefs since I was 9 years old. That's more than 20 years. So we're talking, I've been at this for a long time. But something, I won't mention what here, kind of compelled me to make this video. And I hope that the person that it's for, who are, watches this and realizes that you are not alone. Bunches of people go through this, bunches of people have been through this, and that it does get better. You need to start seek out an atheist community. I think that's probably the first thing you want to do, particularly if you are a multiple minority, if you are an African American atheist, if you are a Latino atheist, if you are a gay atheist. Seek out other people like yourself. That's going to go a long way. Start laughing with those people. Start sharing in and rejoicing in a rather exclusive kind of enlightenment. And you will cry, you will be angry, you will be bitter, you will feel lied to, you will wonder, what's the purpose of life if there's no afterlife? But remember, the only reason you think that you were trying to get to an afterlife is because you were indoctrinated to think that. Remember, folks, we are all born atheists. Born right the first time. You don't need a God. You don't need to worship anything. If you're a new atheist, I know what you're going through, but embrace the relief and the sense of enlightenment that you have newly found, and seek those of us who are a little bit more well-versed and seasoned at being atheists out, and we are here to help you get through, those initial hardships. You're one of us now, and welcome to the club. You guys have a good night.